definitely like to tell the audience over here that our University of Kashmir is one of the higher education institutions in our UT, working very much towards the women empowerment, towards having various programs on gender sensitization, and wherever any type of facility that is to be provided to our girl students, we definitely work that. But it doesn't mean that we leave boys aside. We equally give full attention to our boys, but somewhere girls have specific issues, specific problems. We try to address that. Our Dean Social Sciences just now shared experience which we had to encounter in the administration, and sometimes it was very stressful also. We as women, we as girls, we have to be sensitive also that we have to be very balanced, and our mindset has to be changed pertaining to what? That we should not make issue of small things. It's not good that if we make issues of small things. If any issue is there, issues can be resolved. This is a higher education institution. Every rule and regulation is in place, and we try to resolve everything. I must assure everyone over here, all my students, all my research scholars, that we at the administration, whenever we receive any complaint, we try to resolve it in a very time-bound manner, so that no issue prolongs long, or any student does not suffer mentally, academically, or timely for any type of reason. So we take up task as soon as possible. When I look at the titles of the films that are going to be screened, I'm sure that definitely it's going to be a learning experience for all our students. Because I said it's a different type of an activity. I'm not sure whether these types of activities are there in your academic courses. Must be, but since this is particularly on gender sensitization, so especially different. I was also told that there's something on child abuse, so definitely something which we have been hearing throughout, that is the influence of our cultural construct on our day-to-day life, then the social issues which we have in our society, then I talked of mindset. So these are the three important parameters. I'm sure what I could see from these titles of the films that you are going to see in these particular titles, in these particular films. So why I say that it's a learning experience, it will open your mind, open your eyes towards what Mr. Harish and his team will have to convey to you through these small films of 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm sure it must be based on some reality. And when we see them, definitely you'll try to correlate. Yes, whether this is happening in our society, it is happening in my neighborhood, it is happening with my friends or not, something like that. And definitely we try to resolve these issues. I must share an example over here. We recently had our university council, and the Honorable Chancellor shared his view with me. He said that there's a big social issue in Kashmir, that girls are getting married at a very late age. Just try to do some research on it. Tell your faculty, your students of social sciences, to do research on it. What are the reasons why why girls are not getting good matches, why their marriage is being hampered, why late marriages are taking place. So why I am saying this? Because there is some, influence of social issues on these types of problems that we are facing in our society. And if the change has to come from the youth, change has to come from young girls, change has to come from young boys, and we have to change our mindset. Our education is very important. Our higher education is very important. Our career is very important. Our, independent, economic development is very important for girls as well as for boys. But again, we have to address to some social issues which are creating lots of problems in our society. And we as academia, we as, faculty at the higher education, we as student at the higher education, we have to see what's the problem at grassroots and try to balance it. With these words, once again, I congratulate AMMRC team for organizing this very, I must say, a very assertive type of exercise. I was happy to see that yesterday in this particular auditorium, again, we inaugurated a program on academic writings, how, our children, our students can improve their academic writing. So definitely another such program specifically for students, because we are trying to have some specific programs for students in order to develop their skills, develop their capacity in their own specializations or in the related areas of interest, so that they can really excel in their career in future, and again contribute to the system, contribute to their university, contribute to the society.
For the students and faculty members, let me highlight that since Madam has taken over as the Vice Chancellor, she has highlighted as to how we can take care of the issues related to girls and women, faculty and students and scholars of the university. And under her guidance, I have recently created a committee comprising of majority of the female faculty members who will try to assess as to what are the issues of female students and scholars and how we can be able to solve them without getting highlighted or without those students trying to actually wipe out their career and leave. As you might have heard, what the scenario was about 40-30 years ago in the Valley of Kashmir, it was very smooth. Or in the world as a whole, in India as a whole, it was smooth. But all of a sudden, there was an increase in the violence against women. And this became a problem both at regional level, national level, international level. And a concept was floated that how can we as education committee members try to resolve these issues. And many suggestions came, and one of the suggestions was that in every educational institution, one must try to frame and draft a committee and policy to see what are the concerns and what are the problems that are being created or that are being faced by female faculty members or female students and scholars, and how can these issues be resolved. And this gradually got spread out, and in majority of the institutions, committees were created. And in the University of Kashmir, luckily, we have in almost all the departments CRs. We label them as class representatives, and the policy in the university is that we have one girl student as one CR and one boy student as another CR. Similarly, when we have research scholars getting registered for their research work in different departments, we also have a representative from them. In majority of the departments, we have one research scholar from the boy group and one from the girl group, who is in turn trying to keep track of as to what students and scholars are facing. And they in turn are trying to communicate that to the teachers within the departments and ultimately to the head, and we in turn try to resolve those issues. And this in turn reflects that in the University of Kashmir, the concept of stopping violence against not only women but also against men has been in concern, and we have been able to, on the basis of different policies, different suggestions, different discussions, draft a method with which every incident that happens in any department or any office is getting resolved within a span of maybe a couple of weeks, not more than that. That is showing the fact that our concept has actually given us ideas that we must try to act as real teachers. We usually use the term that I am a professor, I am an associate professor, I am an assistant professor in the university. But if we look at the translation or meaning of that word, ustad, and ustad actually means somebody who can take care and who can guide exactly what to do, what not to do. Who can actually, simple word is, give tarbiyat to the students, to the scholars, both male and female, so that they can be able to carry a message that we are part of a group, and in that group our relationship should be so polite and friendly that nobody at any stage will face any problem. Otherwise, if I look at myself and think that I am professor, why to bother about a student? Or a student, why to bother about a scholar? A scholar, why to bother about a student? We will in turn face problems at every stage. But if we become a cooperative, collaborative group and try to see what the problems are, and instead of highlighting those, try to resolve the issues by consulting both the person who has created the problem and the person who is facing the problem, consulting both, and through common resolution try to resolve the issues. And what will happen is that within a span of maybe a week, maybe a month, all the issues of a rift between two different groups, male and female students, scholars, faculty members, or administrative staff members, can be resolved. But in that, our theme, our mind should be open access theme, open access mind. We should not be self-centric. We should actually try to listen to what the complaints are, listen to what the reasons are we actually have to resolve, or the issues we have to resolve, so that those problems do not spread. Those issues do not get highlighted within the campus or within the department or within the UT or within the state or the zone as such. Because once such problem gets highlighted, we have seen that many issues are being pinpointed against the institution, against the department, against the particular group of people in that. And that in turn defames the institution as a whole. So in that, obviously a role is to be played by all. One should not feel that I am a student, what can be my role? Or I am the senior most faculty member, what is my role? A role is to be played by all. And we should listen to the complaints. We should listen to complaints to solve the issues, not simply listen and document them. Sometimes we receive documents through speed post, through email, and we sometimes throw them to dustbin or take out a printout and keep it on the table. But better is that whatever issues are being raised, try to sort as what are the people involved in that and how can they be called, so that once we sit together, issues can be resolved.
Film festivals, as you all know, are really very important. But there are two very important reasons for which we conducted this film festival. Number one, it provides an opportunity to all the filmmakers to showcase their work before a diverse and wide audience, and also communicate with the audience and see and show how they have seen the world. But beneath this function, there is also important thing that it also provides an excellent opportunity to all of us for seeing the world through someone else's perspective, understand the social reality, understand the social, this fabric of our society, or the social problems about, or the human conditions about which we have never ever thought of. Sometimes we don't think about all those problems or all those things. And these things you will realize once you will be seeing the films, and you will then, in the morning you saw a very small 1-minute video about the beauty myth. And we really enjoyed and said, oh, beautiful how it is. Then how we have conceived the idea of beauty in our lives and how it is dominating us, forgetting that we have to respect our own beauty. So I can say that festivals are always, they open us to alternate way of thinking. So coming to the theme of this festival, that is gender equity, diversity and inclusion, I don't think there could have been any better theme than this, because gender equity, diversity and inclusion are all about providing equal opportunity and access and removing the barriers of discrimination towards women and other marginalized and vulnerable groups of society. If you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly goal from 5 to 10 of United Nations 2030 agenda, which of course focuses on achieving gender equity and reducing inequality through the social, economic and political inclusion of all. The UN further explains, I quote, "Gender equity is not only a fundamental human right, but a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous and sustainable world." But unfortunately, whenever we discuss this gender equity, particularly in this part of the world, we always believe, or some of us believe, that we are reinforcing the reactionary values. But to me, it is not reinforcing the reactionary values. It is actually a struggle towards making a just society, if not just, but I can say a balanced society, which is based, of course, on humanistic values, where no section of the society is excluded, while respecting the diversity, because diversity is really very important. क्योंकि 7 रंगों से बनती है एक दनक.
So happy to tell that we work with young people across the country. We work with young men, adolescent boys particularly. But while addressing them, there are women in the auditorium. There are other gender people, non-binary individuals, also a part and parcel of our events. And we try to make it more youth-friendly. We use interactive workshops. We use theatre, and I've been using films as an important tool last 5 years. So I'm happy to tell that this word Sama Bhav, you must have got a meaning. Sama means equal and Bhav means looking with the same respect to all the genders. In short, the meaning is equanimity. So we are talking about looking at all genders with the same respect and dignity that every human being should get. And I'm happy to say this is my 5th year, and this is an international traveling film festival which runs for 4 to 5 months. So that means we have already covered 4 editions of Samabhav, and so far 34 cities we have covered, and around 12 rural districts. Since last year, we are also traveling outside of India, especially South Asia and Southeast Asia, because you might be knowing of a person, Dr. Kamla Bhasin, a well-known legendary social activist who's no more. She told us that you should take it to outside India, especially our neighboring borders, because there are similar problems there. So last year we went to Bangladesh and Nepal. This year I'm happy to say we are going to Bhutan as well as Indonesia. So, and I'm so happy we have so far covered 4-5 major cities. We have covered Mumbai, we have covered IIT Guwahati. Also, we have covered some other cities, and now this is our 6th venue. After this, we are going to other places, including Kochi. So I would say from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, hum bolte hain. So Kashmir to Kochi, we are traveling this festival, and I'm so happy that we are going to have some of the outstanding. So the kind of films we are going to have are short films, some feature films, some documentary films, which are around gender, sexuality, masculinity. Sometimes the topics of which are tabooed and you do not get opportunity to talk about. So I think here's a platform. I'm so grateful to 2 names I must say without which this program wouldn't have happened. One is a young guy from Kashmir called Syed Suhail, who is unfortunately because of ill health unable to be amidst us. He has been for the last 3 years, he did his masters in social work from Mumbai and was aspiring that we should go to Kashmir and have this festival. So for the last 3 years we have been trying. In between there was COVID, and the other person whom we cannot miss naming, Dr. Roshan Ara. There's a faculty from Mumbai, Vaishali Oza, who teaches and as a visiting faculty here. She connected with her and we had a wonderful chat and explained the concept, and then she took it to before the VC, and thereafter we are seeing this program where 5-6 departments have collectively come together to make this happen. So I'm really grateful, and we hope that there are, just like camera action, lights camera action, तो lights camera है and interaction जो इसकी खासियत है, that you will all contribute to make it a great success. Thank you.
At the outset, I, on behalf of the organizers, which include MAVA, that's Men Against Violence and Abuse, EMRC, NERC, Social Work and Women's Studies Center, welcome you all to this two-day film festival. At the direction of Honorable Vice Chancellor, we have organized this important film festival with the aim to highlight various important issues pertinent to our society. In these 2 days, we will be screening around 12 films, which we have shortlisted from a list of around 24 films. And these 12 films will be screened in 4 different sessions. Each session will be followed by a film appreciation debate, which will be conducted by students, discussed by students, in order to train them for such important events for their future endeavors. As we know, the reader creates the imagery of a story while they read. We appreciate films because they give us perspective. Through film screening and film appreciation, we try to analyze scripts, scenes, overall effects, flaws, and beauty underlined in the films.